And Mr. Dene has signed in several times, the first for consent in general, and also 6F, 6H1, and 6H2.
Sam Dene, the Encyclopedia of Reno Government, and the father of the best candidate for Reno mayor, and maybe even a candidate for mayor himself. As I address the board, and I do not want to get upside down with the assistant district attorney over there, but as I said, I've attended these meetings and I'm speaking generally on consent agenda, so I'm on topic. But for all of the years I've been here, 17 years here and 20 years at Reno, there has been the concept of speaking generally on the consent agenda and speaking on everything included within the 3 minutes. But according to Mr. Liparelli, and again, I don't want to get upside down with him, the assistant attorney, maybe he didn't exactly mean it that way, I don't know, but the way he described it, a person can come up here, and in this case there are 9 individual items underneath the consent agenda, and therefore a person could come up here and speak 9 times, 3 minutes each, and take up a massive amount of time, whereas maybe the person only wants to speak on the consent agenda generally, which is what I wanted to do. So I put that on the table, and you can discuss it after I sit down, but I think the history of how the consent agenda has been handled, but there is a technicality that the word consent items does not have a number next to it, so if you want to look at it very in a persnippety manner, he is absolutely right, each individual item. But anyway, I think the standard process historically should be speak generally on the consent agenda if you want, or speak on specific items. Anyway, that was a very interesting and heated conversation, and I'm speaking on the consent agenda as a whole. That was a very interesting conversation, and I still don't understand what happened, but I do know there was a heavy-duty article in the Reno Gazette a couple of weeks ago relative to whether or not the county commission should be buying water, and Mr. Humke was one of the people mentioned in that thing. It is a concept of philosophy that really is an overpowering address. But if I notice this thing right here that you were discussing for so long, you were going to pay $7,000 an acre foot, and that gentleman in the article was going to try to sell you some, obviously a lot more, but he was going to sell it for something like $2,000 or $3,000 an acre foot. So if you're going to pay $7,000 for this an acre foot, $2,000 an acre foot would be good over there. That's basically all I wanted to say on that, but I would like to come back and speak specifically on 6H1, or I can do it right now because I've got my card turned in and I'll be relatively brief on it. Would you like me to sit down and be called back?
I believe that's what we'll have to do.
Okay.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
For clarification, then, I'm to call him